Cheers, everybody. How is it going? We're back again for another video. We're talking today about the state of play, but I'm going to focus in on a couple of games because, to be honest, there was a couple of games that I really was interested in, a few I wasn't too interested in. So we're going to really stick today on the major things that I'm really interested in. So we're going to start with something I am so excited for, Castlevania Curse of Belmont. I think that's, or Belmont and Curse or something like that. I'm not 100% sure on the name. I was actually spending so much time. Once they mentioned Trevor Belmont, I was spending so much time literally just looking at that, being like, are we playing as Trevor? It looks more like Sypha. Is this like their kid? What's going on here, right? Because I don't know the lore of Castlevania very well, right? I've watched the show, I've watched Nocturne. That's the extent to my knowledge are the two shows, right? So when I see a game that mentions Trevor Belmont, I'm like, oh, damn, I'm going to get into this right away. Okay? So this is like probably my second most interesting thing I got from this state of play was the Castlevania thing. Second was I hadn't actually got a good look at the Beast of Reincarnation trailer. So that was good to see it. And I have some thoughts and I'll get into that later on. But let's move back to Castlevania real quick. So obviously it's going to be like a Leon Kennedy situation with Requiem. It looks like we're not playing as Trevor. We're playing as someone who looks like Sypha, I think. Or gives me a Sypha vibe. So I'm thinking it might be their daughter. But I was so certain that I heard somewhere that in canon, Trevor and Sypha's kid is like Simon. Or is he meant to be their grandchild? You know what I mean? Like, I'm wondering where this is going. Because is that Simon in the trailer? It didn't look like him. I'm pretty sure he has short hair in Smash Bros. So I was thinking it could be the daughter of Sypha and Trevor, and then that's why they're calling in Trevor. Or it could be someone unrelated to the Belmonts. I just assumed because the game is called The Curse of Belmont, or Belmont's Curse, that you're going to be playing as Belmont, right? But I am honestly super excited for this game. Because I thought it was a remake when I saw it at first. I was like, oh, this is interesting. Capcom don't do this very often. They don't go for a 2D style game. But they did. They brought a brand new 2D style game. And I'm actually so happy about that. Because, you know what? It's lower budget, which means we can get it. You know, they can put a lot of passion into it and time into it. And it's not going to take too long to develop. But also, it's a new style. They're not relying on 3D. They're like, oh, we know we want to make a game like this. We'll just make it like this. Do you know what I mean? That's great. If the industry is turning that way, where it's like, this is how we want to make our game, we're going to make it like this. We don't need to make it open world. We don't need to do all this. Because I'm happy with these 2D side scrollers, I think you call them, right? Like the Metroidvania style stuff. Because I enjoyed Dread. I loved Dread when I played it. I haven't played Prime 4. I don't plan to play Prime 4 at all, to be honest with you. Whereas I was on Dread like a hot snotch, you know what I mean? I wanted to play Dread. Because these games tend to be shorter and easier to pick up, and I just like to be honest, there's a part of me now that's growing into the thing where I like to see my player character. I don't really like first person games as much anymore. Now, saying that, I'm playing Cyberpunk 2077 at the moment, and I'm really enjoying that. But what I mean is, like, I like to see companies going back to their roots, or if they want to make a game like this, they just make it like this. They don't worry about budget. They don't worry about like, it's not within the trends of the industry. I hope with the current gaming industry the way it is, where prices are going up, games are super expensive to develop, companies will go back and do this more often, where we'll have things where you'll have like passion projects or smaller games with smaller budgets, but they're given, they have the time then to develop them and make them slick and make them easy to play. Because let's be honest with you, if you play a big budget game but you can't run it and it doesn't play well, who gives a shit what it looks like? And to be honest with you, I've had this problem with PlayStation for a very long time, where it's like, realism's great and all, but sometimes it just doesn't hit. Like, there was a couple of games there was this game, I can't remember the name of it, in the state of play, where it was like, we had seen a good few alien shooters, and then it was like, oh, here's an alien roguelike, but they all just look the same. Like, there's no style to them. And I'm like, I don't really care too much. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not going to give out about multiplayer games, right? I could sit here and say single player games are so much better. But there are times when I love a multiplayer game. There are times when I really want to sit with my friends and play a multiplayer game, but I kind of have those games already. You know, when I'm with my mates, we play Mario Kart, we play Super Smash Bros. Nowadays, if I'm with certain mates, we play Sparking Zero. You know, like, it's not a huge list of stuff that we sit down and play. Like, getting people into a new multiplayer game is very tough because people have their own, people have their own habits. And even, like, I've gotten really into local multiplayer. So all this online multiplayer stuff, it doesn't sit as well with me because sometimes I just like to play what I want to play and talk to my friends, through Discord, through WhatsApp, whatever. You know what I mean? And like some playing with them's cool, but we have the games. I don't necessarily want to play a new multiplayer game unless I see people are playing it, see my friends are playing it. Like, it's a lot of time to invest. Like, I saw this game 4Loop. I actually did like the look of it. I'm not going to sit here and say I didn't like the look of 4Loop because I did. It was the other one that I wasn't the biggest fan of, but 4Loop looked nice. It did, in fairness. But when it comes to these multiplayer games, I think it's going to be a tough sell. Like, I think Ghost of Yotei Legends? I don't know if it's its own game. I think it's an update to Ghost of Yotei. And to be honest with you, it's a better idea because you're updating an initial game. You still get the story mode. The people who wanted the story mode have it in Ghost of Yotei, and then you update it to have the multiplayer. But it's when they move away from that, I think it's a bad idea. Like, for example, we had GTA 5 is a great example of this, right? GTA 5 has a really good story. I've only ever played the story. I haven't gone online. But you won't see me... Like, when GTA 6 comes out, I'm going to play it for the story. I'm going to play a bit of online. But, like, that's because it's GTA. Do you know what I mean? I'm not like, Ghost of Yotei. The online looks pretty good. Like, I like the style. Because I like that combat, I might go back to it. But I haven't played Ghost of Yotei yet. I have because I'm just not paying €80 for Ghost of Yotei when I haven't finished the first one yet. You know what I mean? But to be honest, I'm just not paying €8 for something I'm not invested in already. Like, it's gotten to the stage now because every time I was watching those game trailers, all I was thinking was, this is going to cost €8. This is going to be €80. This is going to be €80. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's the same with Nintendo games, man. I'm super selective now. Like, I didn't buy Bonanza until I got it. Someone bought it for me for Christmas, I didn't buy Bonanza. I was like, I'm not that invested in Donkey Kong. I'm not going to buy it. Do you know what I mean? Like, the only games I'm willing to pay that money for now are games I know I'm desperate for. So, like, I love Fire Emblem. I got invested in Fire Emblem with Three Houses. I know I'm going to pay full price for that sequel of Three Houses. Any new Xenoblade game, I know I'd pay £100 for a new Xenoblade game. Like, because I'm that invested in Xenoblade. Or GTA, for example, because I know how much of a cultural moment that's going to be. And I know that with Red Dead Redemption as, like, one of the best story-based games ever. You're like, if they can pull that off in a modern setting with GTA 6, if that team is still there, if that storytelling team is still at Rockstar, like, I'd be willing to pay that money for it. And then you have the online as a bonus. Like, those are the things that are, I think, reasonable for that price. But sometimes with games like Ghost of Tsushima, I've played so far. Now, the first time I tried to play it, it wasn't, like, I didn't get stuck into it because I was kind of in a bad time in my life in terms of I was really busy with, like, basically final year studies, and I just every hour I'd be like, oh, I want to play some Tsushima, and then I just wouldn't be vibing with it. I don't know what it was, and then when I went back to play it, I was so far into the story I didn't know what was going on because I'd been away from it for a couple of months, so I did need to come back and give it another shot. But I have always liked the vibe. I like fighting with swords. I'm a fan of anime. Who doesn't like swords and fighting with swords? You know what I mean? Like, I don't have an issue with Tsushima as a whole, but what I'm saying is it's a story-based game. You have to pull the multiplayer off, right? Because if you do it badly and you want to stick with it, now it's just online expansions, fuck the story, right? Because I've heard great things about Yotei. I heard and improved nearly everything about Tsushima. I haven't heard a single bad thing about Yotei that has been reasonable. You know what I mean? The only bad complaints I heard was, like, people being like, oh, you're playing as a woman. You know what I mean? And that's like a load of bollocks. So you don't pay any heed to that. There hasn't been any genuine criticisms about that game that I've seen. So I am hopeful that this online does well. But I also want it to be at a stage where, like, I hope the story doesn't take a back seat. You know what I mean? I hope we get, like, a Ghost of Tsushima 3 at some stage instead of, like, oh, the online's been successful, let's do that all the time. Like with GTA, that's why it took so long for GTA 6. Like, if you only play GTA for the story, you're fucked. So I'm hoping that doesn't happen with Ghost of Yotei. Well, I'm just gonna call it the Ghost of series, right? But I'm hoping to get really into it again, and I hope to talk very positively when I finish both those games at some stage. I'll probably pick up Ghost of Yotei whenever it goes on sale, because as I said, €80 for a game where I haven't finished the first one, it's just not happening yet. But back on to Castlevania, this is my point. I'm glad to see companies now, instead of we see people going for that model with the 4 loop, with Ghost of Yotei Legends, with like Marathon, which I swear that game was dead in the water. I didn't realize it was coming out so soon, by the way. Jesus Christ. That threw me for a loop. A 4 loop. Oh, that's the best joke you're gonna get in this video. But do you know what I mean? Like, I didn't think that was still going. But that's why I'm so glad to see developers like working on the stuff they really care about, not pushing what they expect in a modern age, like an open world style game. Like, I don't always want an open world style game. Sometimes I want a good story with good gameplay and some cool visuals. And the Castlevania game in that style is exactly what I want, and I hope I get a good story that takes from what I've experienced in the show, because the show is one of the best things I've ever watched. So, I'm pretty invested. Investment is the most important thing, I think, with a video game, because that's what a game feels like nowadays. A game feels like an investment because you're putting that much money into it. That's why, for example, I am thrilled about the God of War trilogy, because I'd be willing to invest money into that, because I loved God of War 2018. I loved Ragnarok. I am the right person for this remake, because I haven't played the originals yet. I went straight from playing 18 to Ragnarok. So this trilogy remake, if done well, it's going to be fantastic for me, man, because I love that stuff. And we have Sons of Sparta as well, which I swear came out today, right? I swear they like crushed the 2026 thing and said it was coming out today. Like, and that's a really interesting thing. I will eventually play that and I'll talk about it. But that's what I'm saying. They went and said, we could have made like a Ghost of Sparta game with the full open world style and full budget, but instead they were like, you know what? We're working on this trilogy remake, and they said remake, not remaster, so it's going to be from the bottom up more than likely. And like, so they made a smaller game that they were like, oh, we can tell a good story, it has good visuals, and it will have good gameplay. And that's just such a cool idea, and it makes me so excited. And on the opposite end of things, we have Beast of Reincarnation, right? Because Beast of Reincarnation, it's a great idea in the long term, because I think if it gets to show us what Game Freak can do when they're given the budget and time to do what they want to do. Pokemon could be huge. Pokemon could have so many different options. And all my talk about budget and time, Pokemon is such a big thing for this, because they don't have the budget or the time, but they don't make good use of their resources. They try to go too high, too close to the sun with the little time and resources they have. So this is going to be a great showing of what Game Freak can do when they're given that time and resources. You know what I mean? With Ghost of Reincarnation. I don't know much details about that development at all. I have been keeping hands off. I just want to go into that game and experience it when it comes out. I might even play it on here. I don't know, to be honest with you. I'm very excited because I love Pokemon. I've always loved Pokemon. And it's been devastating to see what has happened to the series. Now, Legends ZA was great. Legends Arceus was great. But again, a simpler game with better visuals and slicker gameplay would have been great. That's why Legends ZA was so nice, because it was a smaller game. Yeah, it didn't look the best, but I enjoyed the visuals. And the gameplay was nice and fluid. It didn't stutter. It was playing very well. The story was interesting. So now, to go from that to Beast of Reincarnation, you can see the two ends of Game Freak, And if we find something for Pokemon, or for whatever they want to work on, that's in the middle of these two games, where it's like you've got the level of time, let's say the level of budget you put into Beast of Reincarnations, and then you mix that with the fact you do have to get a Pokemon game out fairly regularly. That's never going to change. But if they're given more budget and a bit more time, if they can make something that's in between those two games, because I know that style of game for Beast of Reincarnations isn't going to come out for Pokemon, but if they can find something for the team that's in between, that works for both parts of the company, whether it's Game Freak or Pokemon, we could be in for a fantastic Pokemon game in the future. And I hope that's Gen 10. Part of me hopes that maybe this is I don't know if this is the new team at Game Freak, if they've you know what, go learn how to make games with Beast of Reincarnation, or if this is the old team that's they put the Pokemon onto the new team and we're gonna work on Beast of Reincarnations, right? I'm interested to see where that goes. We'll see with this Gen 10 trailer at some stage, man. But I'm excited for this sort of stuff, you know? It gives me hope about the future for Pokemon. Because I do love it. And it broke my heart when Scarlet and Violet were shit. Do you know what I mean? And I'll always love Pokemon. I'll fall off it for a while and I'll always come back. You know? But I'm excited for something new. And you can see the inspirations. You know, you still have your animal companions. You know, they love their animals. And you've even got some abilities that seem quite similar or more realistic versions of certain Pokemon, like all the vine stuff. I felt like I was fighting that fucking creepy Venusaur, and then the vines your character swings along with. There's obviously some inspiration there from what they've done before, and I'm excited to see where that goes. Now, off of those, my favorite stuff that came out, which I was able to talk about for a bit, there is a couple of other things that I'm really excited for. You know, obviously we got Resident Evil, looks really cool and everything. But you know what I'm super excited for? I talked about this in a short before, but I watched the John Wick trilogy literally last month on a plane, and it was the best. So, and I was saying to myself, man, this would be a great game. And what happens when I get back? Bro, they announced a game, man. And it looks like Keanu Reeves is in it, man. He's my go, man. I love that man so much. I'm playing Cyberpunk right now. I just love seeing him. I just love seeing his face, man. He's just, because when you know he's such a good dude, you're like, I just love seeing it everywhere, you know? You love seeing good people be in roles and doing a load of stuff because you just know he's a good person. You've heard it. It's like when John Cena's in stuff, because you know how much he does for people. You're like, you just love seeing him do stuff. It's the same. Him and Keanu Reeves are the same, you know? And it's just great to see a video game in the John Wick universe, because I knew it would be sick. And it's an excuse to watch 4. I have 4 on the long finger for a while because it's 3 hours and I'm like, I want to watch it. I do. But I need to have the time. So now it's more of an excuse, man. I need to sit down and watch it now, and I need to talk about it before the game comes out, and then I can talk about the game. I am so excited for this. If you can't tell, this is this was really unexpected for me. I can't wait for a John Wick game. It's like it's like a dream come true, man. Because I found one of my favorite film franchises of all time, literally last month, and then it gets a game. It's great, man. It was just great for me, man. I'm so excited for it. And then it looks like Keanu Reeves is involved, which, you know, thanks be to God, man. I love that man so much. I'm gonna keep saying that. It's like a tape on repeat. I love that man so much. But there is a lot of other stuff as well. That Marvel fighting game looks fantastic, and we got the X-Men revealed and stuff. And is it the 99 voice cast? Because if it is, man, I know the Wolverine is anyway. I don't know about the rest of them. I can't remember. But that's really cool. I'm very excited for that game. Because I got into fighting games fairly recently, a couple of weeks ago. We basically had a few people down, hanging out with them, and they were like, let's play. I got Street Fighter 6 for my birthday. And then I was like, all right, cool. And I just put it up with a friend. I really enjoyed it. I was playing Jira. Now, we were playing modern controls. I'm not good at it, right? There's small dexterity issues with my hands. So they're precise movements like that are kind of they're tough for me to do, but not super tough, but just that extra bit tough to pull off. So I do like modern controls. Helps me enjoy the games more. There's a reason I didn't become an engineer. Do you know what I'm saying? But I got really into it. Then we started playing 4. I sucked at 4. We re-downloaded Marvel Capcom 3. That was fun. It was actually, out of everything though, I have to say, Marvel Capcom 3 was a big disappointment. I was expecting so much out of it. I was so nostalgic for it. And it just didn't hit the same. Street Fighter 4 did. I really enjoyed that. But Marvel vs. Capcom 3 just didn't hit the same. I was very disappointed. Anyway, we were playing a bunch of fighting games. So it's great to see a Marvel one now in the anime art style. That's really cool. It's like everything I wanted from a Marvel fighting game. So I'm really down to play that. And I hope it gives me a better experience than Marvel vs. Capcom 3 did when I replayed it for the first time. Because and the roster, man, was kind of shy. Oh my god, the roster for that game was shy. Do you know what I mean? Especially on the Capcom side. But anyway, yeah. So I'm like super excited for the new Arc Systems Marvel game. That's something I'm really looking forward to. And we got X-Men in it. And I haven't really watched much about it, but I know I am going to pick it up. Because I know I've kind of gotten into fighting games. I want to see what they're all about. I want to kind of enjoy them. And now that I'm into Street Fighter 6 as well, I think I'm looking in for a good year in terms of fighting games. Do you know? And then that new Dragon Ball game, I don't know what style of game that's going to be, but obviously we're looking forward to that. We're getting Sparking Zero upgrades all around. It looks like it's going to be a good year for that genre. But as you can tell, it was a very good direct or state of play for Sony. There was a few other things as well, which I'm not going to talk about for too long. There was Rev Noir, which that looked cool, but I wasn't really like, it's a new IP and I probably will play it at some stage. But again, it's going to be one of those things where I'm going to have to hear about it. I'm going to have to see it. If it ends up being 80 quid, I'm going to wait till it goes on sale. You know, it's just how it is. But a lot of this stuff here is pre-existing stuff that I'm really excited for. So I can't wait to see how it goes. We also had like Pragmata again. I don't know how I feel about Pragmata. I'd have to wait for reviews, but it does look like my type of game. But I just don't know. It's kind of something's off with me a little bit. We got some cool new announcements, like we finally have Metal Gear Solid 4 coming to modern systems, which is fantastic for a lot of people. I do have the first collection now in halves with a buddy of mine, and I do hope to play them at some stage so I can talk about them and be ready for the second one. But again, that's a lot on my list, you know. And then obviously there is Requiem was announced again with Leon, more stuff on Leon, and I need to just play Resident Evil games, man. This is basically a list of stuff I need to play. Do you know what I mean? At some stage, we got Mina the Hollower from the developers of Shovel Knight. I haven't played Shovel Knight, but I know it's good, so I'm hoping to play Shovel Knight and then eventually play this. Mina the Hollower looks like a different style of game, but it's the same sort of thing I'm saying with you now, and this is what I love about indie developers, is that now because of how expensive games are now, I think everything's shifting towards just making what you want in the style you want, whether that's a nostalgic, lower poly style. Who cares? If you want to make it that way, as long as it plays well and it's interesting, that's the most important thing. So, yeah, I really cannot wait for what they show us. There's so many good things. This was honestly by far better than the Nintendo Partner Direct. There was some good stuff there, and I enjoyed a lot of that. But this was great. There was announcements I am absolutely like up the wall excited for, you know? Now all we need with Arc Systems is them to announce something for One Piece, you know? Please do that. Please, I need that. I need One Piece to get a good game. There was but that's about it really in terms of what I want to speak about. There was Silent Hill Townfall. Don't really care about Silent Hill myself. There was Darwin's Paradox, actually looked really cool. It was like an octopus stealth game. That's interesting, isn't it? It's just kind of different, you know, and I was kind of like, oh, I'd be down to try that, you know? And then what else was there really? Nothing else really that piqued my interest. There was the Project Windless actually looked... Project Windless, yeah, holy shit. That was the one where you played as like a giant chicken man hybrid that just sliced through everything. That looked really sick. That looked incredible, actually. I'm really excited for as well. See what I mean, though? There was so much in this trailer that just had me on the edge of my seat. So I'm pretty happy with how games are going, because it looks like we still have a bit of that hodgepodge of that multiplayer bollocks, which isn't that great, because it's not going to get supported. You know what I mean? Like, people already have the games multiplayer-wise that they want to play, and unless you do something unique that's going to push them to playing those games, I don't know if it's going to get supported. But on the other half, we got a load of games that looked like it was just developers trying to have their fun. Dead or Alive, actually, speaking of fighting games, one last thing. I just keep going, man, because there's so much to talk about. One last thing. Dead or Alive 6. I haven't played Dead or Alive. It looks like my type of game, and I do want to pick up 6, and that new game looks really cool, and I probably will pick it up. But man, making a fighting game free to play is a great idea. Like, a free to play version is a great idea. Let people dip their toes in. That is perfect. like a more advanced demo version that allows people to play online. Maybe not have all the characters, but still have a feel for the game and get to learn it before you pick it up. Because then, if you have a free to play version that, let's say, doesn't have all the characters, only has like the online and local play, doesn't have story mode or something, you can then, for fighting games, I think that's a great idea because you can have people learn the game on their own time while they save up to pick up the main game. And then they buy it and they have loads of characters. They've already learned how to play the game. They're very excited for the game now. I think it's a fantastic idea. But yeah, let me know what you guys think in terms of the direct, or in terms of the state of play. Is there other stuff you're more excited for? Sorry I kind of rambled on. I kind of got going and I just kept rambling on. But hey, had fun. I hope you did too. And thanks for watching the whole video. And with that being said, cheers. Have a fantastic day. I forgot to make another cup of tea again because I had one. But see, this is the problem. I have one with my breakfast and I'm like, I'm not going to have one right next and right after one another because I want my voice to be all right. I should really just stop it and only have a cup of tea when I'm making these videos because then I'll actually have one ready. So yeah, but cheers guys. Have a good day.